morning. I'm coming to you from Marana, Arizona.
TravelingMel.com.
We had a family vacation at a guest ranch south of here. The rest of the family flew home, and now I get a day and a half to explore this new to me community. And I love going to new places, so I'm really excited about it. I'm starting out the day here at the hotel room. It's called My Place, and it just opened in November, so it's a pretty sweet little hotel. And I'm gonna do breakfast here because I have a bunch of food. There's a full-size kitchen and a double burner stove and some other stuff, so it's really convenient that way. And then I'll head out to the Ironwood Forest National Monument and maybe go for a little hike, look at some of the historic spots there, and then take another scenic drive over to the Saguaro National Park Western Unit. Then I will go over to have lunch somewhere where they have the world's best margarita. Apparently they won an award, and you know I have to try that. So we'll have lunch there, and then I'm going to search out some Mexican candy. And this is a locally owned shop, but it's in the Tucson Premium Outlet Mall, which is here in Marana. So we'll go check that out. And then lunch was already had, so dinner at a brewery, and then that should be enough for one day. Tomorrow I'm hoping to get up early, get some breakfast at a local restaurant, and then hit a birdwatching spot real quick before I head out of town. So I'm excited for you to come and join me here in Marana, which is, by the way, 10 miles northwest of Tucson, Arizona, and it's a 122 square mile community. So it's really big. We'll just see a little bit of it, but I'm looking forward to it. This is the Ironwood Forest National Monument. It is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. It was set aside by Bill Clinton in 2000, and it celebrates, or protects, I should say, the ironwood tree. And this is the largest population of ironwood trees left in the Sonoran Desert. And the tree is pretty cool because it provides shade and food and has really deep roots, so it holds the soil in place. It's called ironwood because the wood is so heavy and dense that it actually doesn't even float. So there are also saguaros here, and it's also protected for some of the historical aspects. There's a Titan Missile 2 site here, and we'll look at that in a minute, and some other restoration work. And you can't really, you can walk around for sure. There aren't a lot of trails or anything, and a lot of the roads are dirt, and some are kind of impassable at times, or you need a high clearance vehicle, which I do not have, but the roads seem like they're in really good condition right now. It's unfortunately been a long drought, so everything is really dried out. But you get into these mountains back here, and we're just gonna walk around a little bit and see what we can find. I'm also hoping to find this 80-armed cactus, which I think I saw on the way in. So let's go take a look. I parked at the Titan II missile interpretive site, and there actually is a little trail here, even though I said there wasn't. It's really short, and it has interpretive displays so you can learn about the missiles, but it still feels pretty peaceful and quiet and kind of interesting to learn about the missile and the things that went on in here. But on the other side, it's desert and mountains, and you can see the ironwoods, some prickly pear, I guess, and lots of saguaros, mountains. So a beautiful place for a little walk. Just in case you don't remember, the Titan II missiles, they were part of a 3-part nuclear strategy by the United States during the Cold War, and these Titan II missiles were decommissioned in 1982 and like completely done in 87. So it's been a minute, but they're basically missiles with nuclear heads on them, and they were meant to get Russia's attention, or the USSR, the Soviet Union, and deter them from nuking us. Now let's move on to another part of the National Monument. I know I said that there weren't very many trails because that's what I read before coming here, but you can see we're at the Waterman trailhead, and I'm gonna walk up here a little bit. I did read also that you shouldn't go to the summits of any of these mountains between January 1st and something, because the bighorn sheep, it's critical habitat, and I think maybe they're having babies up there, and so you don't want to disturb them this time of year. So if this trail does go up to the top of something, like one of these mountains, I'm not gonna go because I don't want to disturb any bighorn sheep babies, that's for sure. The trail keeps going behind me up to a ridge, which looks pretty interesting. I'm at a saddle. You can look over the edge that way or the other way. And then there's also this behind me now that looks really interesting too. It may be a summit though. I said not to go on any of the summits. It's just a small hill. But I think what I'm gonna do is just turn around and go back down the way it came up. It was kind of a steep hill, and keep driving this big scenic loop I'm doing around Marana and see some other things.
I looked for the 80-armed cactus and thought I found it, but I didn't. It's not marked on a map, nor does it have 80 arms, but there are several of these cool saguaros with the multi-arm mutation to awe anew over. This beauty can be seen from the road. It's important not to get too close and compact the soil over its delicate roots. Even if you don't find the famous cactus, you'll see something wondrous.
I just pulled off at this parking area pull-out trailhead, and there isn't a sign or anything, but it looks like it goes through this cool looking wash. So let's go check this out. This is one of those trails where you keep thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna go around one more corner, and then I'm gonna go back. It's just walking down this wash. But it's really cool, and so many really cool looking saguaros around here. I guess we're in Saguaro National Park, so that makes sense, doesn't it? It's really beautiful in here, and the cacti are so cool. So I'm gonna go around one more corner. I just had lunch at Nana's, and it was delicious. They are known for their margarita. They were voted best margarita. They won an award for it, so of course I had to try that. The one I got was mango tahine, and it was delicious. It's kind of in this unassuming strip mall, but it's a great place. It's locally owned, family owned, and highly recommended. That lunch was so good. And I am now going shopping, which is something you might not expect from me. But here in Marana, there are some, it's called the Tucson Premium Outlets. And I have been told that there is a candy store here called Mexicandy. And there's all the other outlet stores with all the other stuff, of course. But this is a family-owned local candy store from with candy from Mexico. And even though I'm not in Mexico right now, obviously, I'm in Arizona, one of the things I always like to do is bring back international candy and stuff like that for the kids whenever I travel. So I am on the lookout for that. Well, I got some Mexicandy. It's watermelon gummies with tagine and something else. And what's cool is that the owner makes it locally, so that's fun to find in an outlet mall. And there's a Tucson Games and Gadgets, which is a local shop as well, and in an animal adoption spot too. So there are several interesting things for me as well.
After a quick break back in my hotel, I hit up the Blacktop Grill for their award-winning street food, including vegan and keto options. Their Sonoran hot dog is a local favorite.
I am at the Rio Preserve, and it is a natural area along the Santa Cruz River here in Marana. There is great bird watching, people are walking their dogs, and there is a 137-mile loop trail, bike and walking trail. It's called the Huckleberry Multi-Use Loop, but people just call it the loop. So that goes through here too, and then you can ride your bike 137 miles around Marana. I thought about renting a bike, but kind of ran out of time, so I'm having a morning nature break. It is up against a neighborhood, but mostly it's pretty quiet and serene and shady, which must be nice in the summer in places, and just a whole bunch of different birds. You can get a list of birds to check out, and what a great place to start the morning. Another thing that's pretty interesting about this El Rio Preserve is that the Juan, Bautista de Anza historic trail comes through here too. So there's some interpretive signs about that, and then there's also some other interpretive signs about the birds you might see, and other bits of information and interesting things. So it's a cool place. Highly recommend. Going in for breakfast at the Bisbee Breakfast Club, which is kind of a small Arizona chain. There's 8 of them, I believe. And they started in Bisbee, obviously, and there's this one here at the north end of Marana. So I'm gonna grab some breakfast and see if it's as good as everyone says. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you found some interesting things to do in Marana for a day or two. There's a lot more to explore, obviously, that I didn't get to on this short trip, but if you are coming to Tucson or Southern Arizona or something like that, it's definitely worth spending a day or two or more here in Marana. I think we'll definitely stop here next time we're down in the area. And all the details, of course, for the itinerary and everything else are in a blog post, which will be linked below. And thanks for exploring with me.